Good afternoon, grade 12s, and welcome to the LO lesson for today. My name is Buleng Nitiga, and I am your LO teacher for the duration of the lockdown. On the screen, you're going to see my email address. There we go. It is litikapuleng@yahoo.com, and that is where you can email me with regards to anything that you want to know concerning LO. So, any questions that you have or any clarity that you need on LO, you are welcome to email me, and then you can get me over there. So, yes, you're welcome to participate in class. So please do participate. You can go to the chat box and you can speak to me. Also, you can raise your hand so that I can unmute you, and then you can make your comment. All right, so chapter 9 is what we're doing today. Chapter 9, unit 2. Yesterday we did unit 1. So today it is on formulating a personal mission statement for your life. You know that different organizations have mission statements, institutions, schools, universities, the government, they all have mission statements, but it is also important for you to have a mission statement of your own. So this is about where are you going as a person, what your values are, what do you think about yourself, what do you want other people to think of you when they see you, what must they believe about you, what must they know about you, what do you have to offer, who you are. So we're going to look at how we can formulate a personal mission statement for your life. So the lesson objectives so that you know the ideologies, environmental responsibility, and goals for studies and career choices you need in order to formulate a personal mission statement of your life. So it means when you're going to form a personal mission statement, you need to know about your environmental responsibility. Then you need to know what your goals are for studying. And then you need to know about your career choices. And then that will help you to formulate your personal mission statement. So, moving on to the first slide. So what we're going to do here is we're going to give a definition of an ideology so that you know what an ideology is. Ideologies are an organized set of beliefs, values, and ideas. They are the way you believe you should live in the world and the way society should operate. So it is what your belief is about the world operates and how you want to live your life in that world. And then political ideologies include democracy. So democracy, is when you are able to vote and choose your own government, and it is not a dictatorship. No one governs over you without you having voted for them. And then communism is like socialism. The state controls almost everything, and then you're all under the state. The state controls business and capital. So basically, you also, the state controls the private sector, or every single institution is probably going to be turned into a state institution. So that is an ideology. And then nationalism, it's like, yeah, it's also sort of like everything is controlled by a state. It's also like patriotism. And then fascism is also a form of like dictatorship, where there's one person who is like ruling for like 20 years or so. So these are different kinds of economic, no, of ideologies rather. So there are economic ideologies that include capitalism. So, capitalism is for a free market, business control state. So, state does not intervene or involve itself too much into capital and business. And then what happens is they can, maybe as a state, your role is to create a good environment for competition and for business to be able to take place in your economy. So that would be capitalism in a nutshell. Obviously, you can go on and on about what capitalism is. And then socialism is more or less communism. Instead of maybe business running the country, then the country will be run by the government, and then the government will have a say in everything. Whereas in capitalism, the government tries not to interfere. And then, yeah, institutions are state owned in socialism, and then in capitalism, they privatized. So maybe in socialism, you'll have a state bank, and then in capitalism, that banks will be owned by private sector. And then Marxism is also of socialism and communism, and those are all ideologies. So these different ideologies have different ideas about, for example, social welfare. So maybe communism, socialism, or Marxism will agree with social welfare, like taking care of orphans. Uh, what are these grants? Social grants. Those are an example of social welfare. And these are your child grants, your pension grants, your disability grants, and all the grants that you have that would be social welfare. So maybe a capitalist country would maybe not enjoy, they wouldn't really like the idea of having like a country that is 100% for social welfare. They would rather prefer that. Maybe you create an environment where you can create employment, and then from the employment, people can be able to take care of themselves. So religion to obviously religion, everyone has their idea. Each religion has their idea of who God is, how to serve Him, what the meaning of life is. So patriotism too, yeah, that is about being proud of where you come from, your whether it's your family, your tribe, your nation, your clan. And then healthcare too. Healthcare, I think, can also fall under social welfare. I guess cannot. So healthcare is free in some countries. Like I know here our clinics are free, but then in other countries you will probably pay for healthcare. And in the justice system too, we have in countries, some countries have good justice systems and others don't. We have a nice justice system. We have courts that you can take someone to court when you believe they have crossed the line, they have committed a crime against you, and you can have your day in court, and you can be assured that you can have a good trial. And if that person is in the wrong, we believe that our justice system will find that person guilty, and that person will go to jail. So, an ideology is a set of beliefs and values attributed to a person or a group of persons. So, it can be for an individual or for a group of people. And then it is especially held for reasons that are purely epistemic. So in the past, the word ideology was only meant to describe economic, political, and religious theories, like I just mentioned. But now it's broad. You can that ideology is about everything, really, about sports, fashion, history, everything. So it is broad now. It's not just about the serious things. So that is why now you can apply it to your mission statement, and you can make it personal because it can cover any aspect of your life. So moving on to the next slide is on lifestyle and physical and emotional well-being. So your lifestyle is how you live your life on a daily basis. So you can't say you have a lifestyle of going to gym if you only go to gym once a month. So you can't say that your lifestyle is eating out if you only eat out once a month. You have to be doing something on a regular basis in order for you to say that it is your lifestyle. So if you say that you're a vegetarian, you can't maybe only eat vegetables twice a week and say, "Oh, I'm a vegetarian." Your meal or your diet would be like have to be mostly vegetables and no meat. So you, if you're going to say this is your lifestyle, then you're going to have to live that way almost every day, or rather even every day. And then you make sure that you are emotionally healthy by spending time with friends, relaxing and in nature, and talking about taking part in community activities. So those are some things that you can do with regards to lifestyle. And then you find time to have fun, laugh. You follow a religion or have a belief system that comforts and that supports you. So you can have a Christian lifestyle where maybe your kind of Christian lifestyle is that you don't drink or smoke, or that you won't have a baby before marriage. So you'll be careful the kinds of relationships that you have. And then maybe you'll spend more time maybe at the youth prayer group and the youth Bible study group instead of being out in a club. So you won't have a club lifestyle. So that is an example of religion. And then yeah, that would be lifestyle. So, lifestyle is also a way of life established by a society, a cultural group, or individual. So, a lifestyle can also be like something that is done by a society. For instance, like in one society, it can be acceptable to maybe keep right on elevators or keep right on lifts, or when you're walking down the stairs you keep right. There are some societies that keep a certain order, or maybe in your society everyone just walks everywhere and bumps into each other. And then cultural groups, maybe you have a lifestyle of eating maybe herbs and vegetables only. So you're part of this a vegan group too. Maybe you don't eat meat and meat products. And then you can just be an individual and tell yourself that you're open minded and that you're just living your life. And then this includes patterns of behavior, interactions, consumption, so what you eat, where you work, activities and interests that describe how a person spends their time. So it's how you spend your time. So examples of common elements of lifestyle. So these are some of the common things, traits that you can say my lifestyle is like. So culture would be one, traditions and shared experiences valued by a group. So shared experiences, maybe how do we celebrate a child? Do we have baby showers, baby launches? How do we celebrate a new home? Do we have a housewarmer, or you only celebrate your home once you're done paying your bond? And then, for example, the holidays, pastimes, music, and art that you enjoy. So maybe you are a person that loves going to museums, cheese and wines. You like going to expos, exhibitions. So that is a lifestyle. You are more likely to be found in the hippie side of town, maybe in the hippie side of Melville or Maboning precinct where all the cool people hang out. Maybe you're that kind of a person. And then norms, shared expectations of behavior. So, what your norms are, what are your norms, what are your values? So, this includes things like rules of politeness. Are you a person that says, I greet before I speak to someone? I say please and thank you. So, I also expect that in return. I want someone to greet me and say please and thank you. And then courtesy and civility, like you want to treat people in a civilized manner. So yes, and then you expect people to reciprocate. So you would also be around people who share those values. So town and a country. So depending on where you're from, which town you're from, that can also alter your mission statement, your personal mission statement. It can influence you. So, the place that you live tends to impact your lifestyle. For example, living in a large cosmopolitan city versus in a remote island with an excellent beach. So, the way you live, like in Johannesburg, will probably be a bit different from the way you live in the rural area. And this is maybe also according to preference. If you like maybe an up-paced town where everything is just nearby, so you'll probably be in the cities. You like the tempo, everyone is in a rush, you're just minding your own business. Or rather, you want to be in the countryside, the rural area. Nothing wrong with that. You get a lot of fresh air. You like peace and serenity. You just like being with close family. You like spending time maybe with beautiful views, which the most of the time the views that you get in the CBD are of tall buildings. Some of them weren't even maintained for years, so the sides that won't always be nice. So it's what we call a concrete jungle. So also your lifestyle on a beach, if you're on an island, you'll just maybe always be relaxed, wearing your shorts, going surfing, eating your fish after fishing. You're just chilled about life. So and then your profession and your work lifestyle can also influence your mission statement. For example, on your own, for example, like working, what is the example that I wrote down? Oh, working on your own versus working on a strict schedule. So basically, something that can alter your personal mission statement is also your job preference. So for instance, if you don't want to wake up every morning at 6 o'clock or at 5 o'clock and work a 9 to 5, which will like be your tempo, it will determine your tempo. And maybe you knock off at 7 and always come back tired. You can be like a person that says, I want my life to be more relaxed, so I prefer to be working in tourism where I'm going around showing people how beautiful Durban is or how beautiful PE is. Some tourists are not even from overseas. They're people from Gauteng who have never been to the beach before, and you live like along the coast and you are just used to the ocean, and they get very excited when they get to the ocean. So you'll show them around, take them to the flea market, take them to Shaka Marine World, or wherever, so your life will be more relaxed. Maybe you're into that more calm kind of job where you also get to experience the outdoors rather than being uh, inside a building or an office. So maybe if you're in a building or an office, you obviously prefer you're a more corporate person. So you're more into I want to be a CEO, a director, a shareholder. So maybe it is a good thing. You maybe do want to climb the corporate ladder and see whether you can be at the highest point of your of management in your company. So we still have to look at physical and emotional well-being. So emotional well-being is the ability to practice stress, the ability to handle or to practice stress management techniques. So to be resilient, so you're resilient towards stress, you don't let it like you don't succumb to stressful situations, and then generate the emotions that lead to good feelings. So you teach yourself how to just survive the bad stuff and focus on the good things, on being happy, being joyful, and focusing on prolonging the feeling of happiness. So, to develop emotional well being, we need to build emotional skills like positive thinking. So, when you want to be well emotionally, you need to be able to work on thinking positively, meaning you're not always gonna think negatively. You try to focus on more positive thoughts, things that make you happy, and then you try to regulate your emotions. So you don't want to be a person that is always sad or nagging or moaning. So now you want to be a person that is more stable. You don't get angry all the time, or you don't move from one mood to the next, like flipping out. So you try to also have emotional intelligence. You're not just gonna get angry before you know someone else's side of the story. So you keep your cool, and then mindfulness, like you're careful and you rather focus on making careful decisions rather than just being stressed when things don't work out at the end. So then physical well-being is the ability to improve the functioning of your body through healthy eating and good exercise and habits. So it's all about you, your health, your physical health. So you can improve this by eating properly. So to develop our physical well being, we need to know what a healthy diet and exercise routine looks like. So you need to know what is healthy for you to eat and how you should exercise so that we can implement effective strategies in our daily lives. When we improve our physical well being, not only do we feel better, our newfound health can also help prevent many diseases so we stay healthy. And then both our emotional well-being and okay, and limit the number of health challenges we have to deal with in our lives. So when you eat healthy and you exercise, you also keep the those diseases away, the ones that get you when you eat unhealthy food. So yes, so being physically healthy is also very important. So we're on environment responsibility. So if you take your responsibility towards the environment seriously, you know you need to treat nature with respect. So you do not do anything that is harmful to the environment, such as litter or chop down trees. Without planting new trees, you recycle and get involved in environmental cleanup campaigns. So basically, it's about you and how you treat your environment, how you treat the nature around you, because your relationships with other people, your community, your family, and your friends, your employers are also, they are important, but your relationship with the environment, how you can impact the environment is also important, because your environment will also determine whether you stay on earth for a long time or not. It can influence your generations, your children, how are they going to survive if the atmosphere is bad, or if all animals are extinct, or if now there is a food shortage. So if you're going to be holistic about your personal mission statement, then you also need to see where you fit in the environment. So we should make sure that we don't impact the environment negatively with the things that we do. So you're not going to do the things do things that will impact the environment negatively. So you should be ready to protect the environment. So protecting the environment is not about making a political statement or just being an activist, but your aim would be to protect the ecosystem and at the same time educate others about the importance of natural resources, and then the species that we have. And then basically you'll also be pointing out the wrongdoing and ultimately get the results. You'll be pointing out the wrongdoing of people. So when you find someone doing something negative towards the environment, then you're obviously going to point that out. So an example, you'll join the maybe a rhino organization or a buffalo organization where you're against poaching. And then if you're for animal rights, maybe you'll go work at the SPCA or join like a pit bull foundation or whatever. There are different kinds of things that you can join so that you can take care of the environment. And then when you see someone littering, you can't, or when you see that your community is full of litter and it's polluted, you can come up with a recycling campaign or find a company that will come and workshop the people in your community, so that you can help keep the environment clean. So, and then that would be on the environment. And then goals for studies and career choices. So these are your goals for your studies. So right now you're in grade 12. I think the common goal is that you get through your grade 12 work and then that you pass matric. So that would be the goal. And then your career choices. I'm sure you've chosen your subjects in grade 10, 9, and then now you are just waiting to study, write your exams, and you probably have started applying for varsity. I know most due dates most closing dates are on the 30th of September. So you might want to, maybe when they open the applications, you will apply for university. So because that would be a starting of your career where you actually go and study towards the job that you want. So your goals for studies and career choices are your plans for the future. So if you don't plan for your studies and for your careers, you are definitely not planning for your future, because your future is dependent on your studies and your careers, because that's where you're going to get your livelihood from, that's where you're going to get paid from. So the steps you need to take to achieve your later goals in life. So your goal may be to have a good job and to own your own house in 10 years time. So, whether, for example, you want to get a job after grade 12 or to study further, depends partly on your personal views on life, your values, and the kind of lifestyle you want to lead. So, maybe you're one of those people that are like, no, we weren't all meant for education. After I finish my grade 12, I think I'm just going to hustle. And okay, let me check the chat box. What if your career interest changed? It's never too late. It's never too late. Life, I don't think life is like a straight line, or I don't know how to put it, but career interests do change. Like I know someone who has gone out and studied engineering. Then after 4 years of being in the field, then they go back to varsity and they study psychology because they decide that okay, now I'm more interested into psychology and I want to follow that. So it is possible career interests do change. Sometimes you decide to do a become accounting because you were doing accounting since grade 9, you've matriculated with your commerce, and then when you arrive at university and you start with your BCom, at the end of your first then you realize actually this is not what I want to do. This is not what I thought it was. This is something totally different. So you can apply for another faculty whilst you're at varsity. Maybe you can then apply for engineering within. So you're still in the system, or you can decide to go apply to another university. So career interests do change. You can always go back to school and study what you think is more interesting to you at that time. So yes, that is it. So things do change, people's interests do change. So again, it's never too late to pursue something that you want. So even when you're 40 and then you decide, I don't want to be a teacher anymore, I want to pursue educational psychology rather. So I have my experience as a teacher, but here I'm going to decide that I want to go into helping children more psychologically. So you can go back to varsity or you study part time until you finish with your masters. Then you go off, you sign with the board, and then you go out and you start practicing. So it does change. It can change, so something can always get done. So goals for studies and then career choices. So obviously your life will be shaped, can be shaped by your career choice. So different roles like taking care of your grandmom or your siblings can change the kind of views that you have with regards to the kind of job that you want. Maybe if you're taking care of your grandmother or siblings, then you won't want maybe a 9 to 5. Maybe you want to work online and maybe teach children in China or South Korea online. And then you know that you're still at home and you can still, between the lessons, go and cook and help your grandmother to drink her medication. So it will depend on your lifestyle and what is going on in your life right then. So then, if you don't really have a reason to stay home, you like getting away from home and going to the office. So that would be your thing. And then with flexible hours, yes, like I just said, you might be a person maybe who has multiple interests. You don't want to stay in one job. You want to maybe do promotions and then do photography and then do a bit of graphic designing. So you'll be more like a freelancer, so you're not like into the whole corporate thing, so you prefer to be a freelancer. So that is something that would be a preference. And then personality, personality and interests. So, okay, with your personality, maybe you're not a friendly kind of person, or maybe you don't like interacting with people, you're not a social person. So, you obviously not gonna work at the front desk of any company or work as a receptionist, because there you need to greet people with a smile and lead them to the office that they want, or you need to book them for an appointment, and you need to make sure that you win the client right from the door. So if you're not a friendly person, you might also want to be away from the front desk. So yes, and then also with preferences, maybe you're a person who's into medicine, so you'll go and study medicine. If you're not a person that likes blood and working with people's wounds, then you're obviously not gonna go into medicine. You'll go into engineering. If you're not a person that likes being in an industrial setting, then you might want to go into marketing. So it also depends on your interests and your likes. So yes, I mean, let's move on to the next slide. We can move on to the next. Let me see. Previous slide. Previous slide. There. Formulate a personal mission statement for your life, which is what we've been doing. So it is useful to start thinking about important life goals. So when you formulate your personal mission statement, you're going to think about your goals. What are your goals? And then a personal mission statement will help you to focus on achieving your goals, and know what is important to you. And then a personal mission statement is your roadmap to your future. It looks at where you are now and where you would like to be in 3 to 5 years. And then your mission statement will change and develop as you change and learn new things. And then I think that is what we can link that to what you were asking, Bongi, about interest changing. So your mission, that last sentence, your mission statement will change and develop as you change and learn different things. So and interest changing can be because of learning new things, even traveling. Sometimes someone can travel and then they come back a changed person with new ideas. So again, change is also inevitable. We are living, this is life, and things happen. So you might be bereaved one day and realize that, okay, life is too short. I don't want to be a minor anymore. I want to rather go and do social work and help orphans. So situations can happen in your life that cause you to change. You can lose your job and decide, maybe your PR job, and then you decide to go into a field that has more job opportunities. So different things can happen. So your reason for your mission statement is also important if you want to assume a leadership role, and it is also important for your personal development. And then a personal mission statement also forces you to think about your life. You're going to clarify your purpose and your identity, and you're also going to think to see what is really important to you. So it also helps you to clarify and express in a very brief manner what your deepest values and aspirations are. And then it also imprints your values and purposes into your mind so that they become a part of you. So if you've written it down, you read it often, you look at it often. So the things that are down there will that you've written down will be imprinted in your mind. They'll stay on your mind, and those are things that you'll carry with you throughout. And then you can combine your personal mission statement into your weekly planning. And then that is also a way to keep your vision constantly in front of you. So you're not just going to have a mission statement for your life and just let it sit there in your diary or on your wall. You need to incorporate it into your daily life and your planning and see how you're acting out. A plan of action, how you're acting out and doing something to move towards your destiny or your purpose. So things that you do every day, and that will mean that you constantly, you're doing your act, you're being that person. So think about your values and what you can contribute to the world too. So you also need to think about, what do I have to offer? What is it that I'm passionate about? Am I passionate about cooking? So maybe I can go and cook at a soup kitchen at church, or cook for at an old age home. So why can you contribute? So maybe I'm good with netball or soccer, so maybe you can go, seeing as you're in grade 12, maybe you can go and help coach at a primary school. You'll coach maybe grade 4s netball or soccer. So what you're doing is you're taking your interest and then, or your talent, your skills, and then you're making a difference with them. So you can also help your family and friends out, and then you also need to consider, it will help you consider your priorities. So once you've got your the statement of your life down, you put down also your goals and your values, um the things you want to achieve, then it will help you to prioritize. So you're going to do the first things first. You maybe, if you want to be a doctor, maybe you'll start off and focus on studying your maths and science, and then maybe also volunteering at a local clinic or at an NGO. Just you're building your resume and you're working towards your goal. So prioritizing that means that you're not gonna go um to the club or to your cousin's friends party instead of now going to study. So you're going to prioritize studying so that you can pass and get to where you're going. So that would be how you are going to formulate your personal mission statement. So, for the activity, what are your goals for your studies and career choices? So, what are your goals for your studies? Do you want to go to varsity? What do you want to study? Why? Which career do you want to go into? So that is just to help you with your mission statement. Right now, your mission statement should be simple. It should be your academic goals. What do you want? Do you want distinctions? Which field do you want to go to with regards to maybe your university? Maybe you want to go into the Faculty of Humanities and study English, and then do a post grad in journalism or publication. So it will be about that. And then that would be activity. So tomorrow is Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. That was the class for today. So please join me tomorrow for class on Wednesday. It will be midweek. And then for more information, do contact us. Africa Teen Geeks is the website that you can go to. And then also sign up for the newsletter so that you can get the latest links and know when we're having class. The timetable has been changing, so just to keep up with when your classes are. And then also follow us on all social media platforms. It is at Africa Teen Geeks, and you're welcome to follow us there. And then that's where you'll get all the information that you want and need to get about the school and your classes. So thank you for joining me for the lesson. Thank you for joining me for the lesson. That is it for today. So see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Bonnie, for joining me for today. Yes, and everybody else on the stream too. Everybody else that is watching. Thank you. Goodbye.